going? I'm Brendan.
And I'm Shannon. Welcome to The Build Up, the show about shows between the shows. We have Kat Graham here. If you missed it, Kat Graham was just on our Build Brunch show. And you can catch the replay on buildseries.com or on our Facebook page.
I love Facebook.
It's so good.
She also helped us launch our Build Studio last year, so we were so excited to have her come back.
Yes.
Kat is also here to promote her new Netflix movie, How It Ends. We don't know how her movie ends, but we wanted to see how some of these scenarios are gonna end. Are you ready?
Yes, so let's get some audience volunteers.
It's time to play How It Ends. We need two volunteers. Come on, two volunteers. Two volunteers. Two volunteers. Two volunteers. Two volunteers.
I need a human
Everyone's
body
just
on
clapping.
stage.
No
Get
volunteers.
up.
People.
Sir, you in the blue shirt. I see you giving me eyes.
People. We love people.
Come on
Yeah,
up.
blue
Come
shirt.
on up.
Blue shirt. Come on, guys. It's gonna be so fun.
All right, great. Why don't you two get in the middle right here?
Why don't you meet us in the middle, right
Meet
here?
us in the middle.
And then, sir, what is your name?
Luke.
Hi, Luke.
Hello.
You look like Luke.
Yeah, I do look like a Luke. I've been told.
This guy looks like a Luke, right? Hell yeah. All right, what's your name?
Madison.
Also on brand. Everyone's
Yeah.
killing it today.
Madison,
Perfect.
your outfit, I mean, you are living for the summer. You look gorgeous. Thank you for dressing up for the build-up. Ooh. And then I just assaulted you. I'm
Shannon
so sorry.
just hit her in the face with the mic.
I was
Okay?
jealous. I'm sorry.
Welcome to The Purge. All right, so this game is called How It Ends. We're gonna give you some scenarios and plots, and you gotta tell us how it ends. And we'll tell you whether or not you're right or wrong. Are you ready to go, Luke?
Let's do it.
Here we go, Luke. First thing. An arrogant prince is turned into a giant beast after living a life of selfishness. Dickhead. And his only hope of overcoming the spell is when a charming young woman named Belle comes and lives at his castle. How does it end?
She ends up seeing he's a true person on the inside and sees he's not just a beast and falls for him.
Wow, Luke has a wonderful heart. Does anyone else love Luke's heart?
Yeah, you're such
Give it
a
up for Luke's
romantic.
heart, guys. Give it
I'm
up
just
for his
going
heart.
by the movie. That's it.
Beautiful
a man
spirit.
with a heart. Who knew?
No, I was
that-
just going by what the movie said.
Yeah. Once again, that was correct. Also, we would have accepted Shannon hooks up with the beast. That we would have accepted as an answer.
You know what's up. Would you hook up with the beast?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought we were in this together, but you know what? More beast for me, baby. All right. How do you think the World Cup is going to end?
Great question.
Kind of good.
Oh my God. I love you so much. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Not an answer, but kind of good.
Do you have any guesses for who might win?
No.
Nah. You like mystery. I love mystery too. And the beast. Yeah, all about the surprise, right?
Luke, how do you think the World Cup is going to end?
Somebody is going to win it.
Okay, nobody here watches the
Whoa.
World Cup.
Okay.
Nobody here watches
All
the
right.
World Cup at all. All right, perfect. All right, Luke, how does it end? My online dating.
You end up getting laid? I don't know.
Whoa, Luke is a
Whoa.
pervert.
Oh.
Everybody's getting laid. Shannon, the beast. Hell yeah.
All right, but make sure getting laid is so much fun. Please get tested.
Really
Great.
important. Once again, we just want to give a quick shout out to Tested. Yeah.
Testing. It exists for a reason, people. Also, what do you think? How do you think the Emmys are gonna end?
Great question.
I think someone's gonna be very great over there. I have no idea.
I love you. I would vote for you to be president because you'd just be like, I think it's all great, and we're all gonna win, and everybody's gonna be happy. Do you watch any TV shows?
I watch TVD, of course. I watch Flash, Supergirl, a lot of shows. I have about 20 of them.
Are you angry Supergirl didn't get nominated?
I think she'll get nominated, for sure.
I love your positivity.
All right, Luke, we got a couple more here, buddy. I can't wait to see what your perverted mind says. Here we go. How does it end? America, the country.
I wish I had an answer, but I don't.
Great.
Doesn't-
A lot of optimism here. A lot of optimism.
I think
Luke
that was
had
wrong.
so
yeah.
much sweet answers for getting laid, but nothing for America. All right, Luke.
Damn.
How about everybody in America gets laid? How about that, buddy? Can't we say that?
Maybe.
Luke, come on, man. We need you. Jeez Louise. All right.
He's like, America is not hot right now. We get it. You don't want to fuck America. What about vaping? How is vaping gonna end?
Vaping. Great question.
I have no idea what that is.
You know, like those electronic cigarettes that everybody's sucking down on the streets? I saw a group of girls in all these yoga clothing, and they each have their own little jewel, and they're like, and I was like, you're gonna go work out right now? I feel like you're gonna bust along on that. Do you know what vaping is now?
I guess so, yeah.
How do you think it's gonna end? Do you think people are gonna become addicted and we're gonna be sucking on those robot dicks?
Yes.
You heard it here first. That's how America dies, sucking on Robo-Dick.
Yep, that's how it ends. All right, last one, Luke. You're doing so good, man, and we're also dressed eerily similar. How does it end your next haircut?
Slightly shorter and looking much better.
Wow.
Ooh, you know what, Luke? You already look pretty good,
Yeah,
so
come on,
I'm
get outta here.
intimidated.
I love Luke because he's very literal, right? Like, he's just very on the surface, but he gives you the truth.
I try.
Thank you, Luke. That was incredible.
Thanks so much for playing.
You guys did so good. Give it
Yeah.
up for them, man. That is so great.
Woo! Yeah.
Once again, guys, thanks for hanging out with us here in the build-up. That was super fun. Cat Graham is coming right up next, so stick around and check it out. Let's do it.
Woo! Yeah.
Luke!
Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Brittany Jones Cooper. From music to TV and movies, Cat Graham does it all. The former Vampire Diaries star is here today to talk about her upcoming Netflix film, How It Ends, which follows a man and his estranged father-in-law as they race across a chaotic and fractured country to save his pregnant wife. We're also going to chat about her upcoming TV projects and, of course, new music. But first, let's check out the trailer from How It Ends.
Hey, what time is it?
6 in the morning in Seattle. My mother just called. What happened last night?
I'm sorry. He was into me from the second I got in.
Why did you move my daughter away from me?
Moving was Sam's idea. If I'd asked for his blessing last night, he would have said no, so I didn't. I was really late. Okay, I gotta go.
Okay, call me when you get to the airport.
What was that?
Will, something's wrong.
Sam.
Will, what?
We have unconfirmed reports of a large seismic event off the California coast, with reports of power outages across the United States.
Why didn't you come back?
I didn't know where else to go.
Have you talked to Sam?
We got disconnected.
What's the last thing she said?
She sounded scared.
Let's look at what we know, Will. We have no idea what's happening. Yet we got F-22s doing flybys. My only daughter, she's alone, 2,000 miles away. So I only have one question for you. Are you coming with me?
All communications are down. The government is silent. We don't know who or what is causing this.
There's a lot to be afraid of out there. There's a lot of real danger.
Should have told me that you had a gun.
I'm assuming that you've never fired a firearm.
I've seen war game simulations, events just like this. They're designed to erase rational behavior with what appears to be a singular incident.
You ever seen clouds like that before?
Will, get back in the car!
I need you to promise you'll always keep us safe.
I promise.
You just drive, I got this. 1, 2, 3!
Can't stay like this forever.
Do you really think that?
Everybody put your hands together for Cat Graham.
For Theo and Forrest, more like it. They are such butt kickers in this movie.
This movie I watched, and it just stressed me out so
me out too
bad.
when I shot it.
I mean, this apocalypse theme is like, it doesn't feel totally implausible, like when you watch it. That's
No,
what's
but
so
we live in
scary.
America.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, this could happen tomorrow.
Absolutely. The way it's done, the process of when everything kind of first hits, it feels absolutely realistic. And I think that's what is so crazy about it.
So, Kat, who do you play in this movie?
I play Sam. I play the future wife of Will, Theo's character. And I'm really excited about this because it's one of the first times that I've ever been a part of like a true I know it's apocalypse, but it's such a love story, you know. It's a story about love for my father, a love for my love, and it's exciting because I'm usually not, I don't get to play anything like this, so it's cool. And I'm blonde in it, so.
Sam really did luck out when it came to the boyfriend-dad lottery. I mean, when you see these two men just like on the most epic road trip ever just to save her.
I just need that in real life, you know what I'm saying? Like
Why is it so hard to find?
Girl, I don't know.
It's so hard. You're never gonna find that on Tinder.
You know what? If I can just get this like in films and this is my career, like I'm actually okay. Like I'm really okay. That's gonna be all right.
So what was it like working with Theo? Because you guys have some scenes together and they're a little steamy.
I mean, it's Theo James. I mean, every girl has a crush on this man, and he's so super professional and so super focused. And Forrest was always so. Forrest reminds me a lot of my mentor, Babyface. That kind of wise but super approachable, easygoing, even though they're like way accomplished and prolific in what they do. So you know, I was just kind of blown away. Still, when I had interviews with them this week, I was still kind of like, oh my God, I'm here. And I was not, it wasn't the best interview I've ever done because I was just fanning out a bit. But they're remarkable to work with. I lucked out.
We had both Theo and Forrest here last week to talk about the movie. And in watching the interview, I see exactly what you're saying. They just are so thoughtful and just, you can see the work that they put into this
and I'm
film.
just like, you know, I'm like a cartoon next to them. And, you know, they tolerated me. They were very cool.
So I want to know, like, how much of this movie was a set and how much of it was, like, CG and stuff, because there's kind of these levels of devastation that we see, and it was just really cool and also really crazy to see Seattle look like that. So how did they make it look like that?
David Rosenthal, who's the brilliant director of this, and we have an amazing cinematographer that put together a lot of this, but I will say that I never shot on a green screen for this film. I know that they did some of that work, and I know that a lot of stuff was done in post, but you know, there's some scenes where you see the ash falling and all that, like that's real. We were literally given masks in between takes and stuff because the ash was so thick and the crew was all wearing it, and it felt like the end of the world, so it was easy for me to freak out.
Yeah, you do a good job freaking out.
Thanks. I've got 8 years of freaking out.
Yeah. But so back to that end of the world apocalypse thing, it made me think about what I would do. And we kind of touched on this a little earlier on Build Brunch, but like,
what would you do?
Let's talk about. I don't know, but I know what I'm gonna do now to prepare. Like, I'm actually, after watching this movie, no joke, I'm gonna make sure I have some cash on hand, flashlights. Like, I'm gonna actually, I think, have like a little.
I learned nothing.
You're like, I'm not gonna change the damn
I'm
thing.
worse. I'm like worse. I'm like, somebody will get me.
Yeah, I think it made me want to like have like a mask. Like, I want to buy like a
You should be prepared.
gas mask.
I mean, my closest friends know that I'm a total conspiracy theorist, and I follow all of like all that stuff on Instagram, and like I get really down a rabbit hole. So you know, but I don't know that I should get prepared for sure.
But you're not going to.
But I'm not going to. Just hopefully, you know.
Well, then you can
Theo
just
or
like,
Forrest come get me, and they know to come get me.
Don't call me because I'm only gonna have one gas mask, and it is for me. And I'm gonna have cash. I'm gonna be like bartering produce, and it's gonna be.
I'll have my Monopoly money.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this gonna get me?
That's amazing. So this isn't the only project you're working on with Netflix. I saw that you also have another movie coming out at Christmas. Who Morgan Freeman plays your dad in that one, right?
No, that's a different movie.
Oh, what is that one?
That's Poison Rose. I finished that about a month ago. No, I'm doing another movie with Netflix, which I'm so happy. Just leave me on Netflix. I am like so good. Also, they have this campaign, Strong Black Lead, and I'm just like what Netflix is doing and how they're promoting diversity and how they're embracing all this incredible Black talent is just like mind-blowing to me. It hasn't been done. I mean, I guess the closest thing would be, Chandra, when, ABC was really embracing her, but to this level, to this magnitude, I haven't seen another network do this to this level. So I'm honored to be one of, many talented people. That movie, the Christmas movie I did with Quincy Brown, who is so amazing. You guys should watch him on Star if you haven't seen him yet. He is stupid talented, and I've been listening to his music, and it's a song called Snuggle Up. It's just so good. Talking about him distracts me a little bit. Focus. It's called Holiday Calendar, and it comes out in November, and that was really cool. Bradley Walsh directed that. It's a super cute, beautiful movie, and I'd never done a holiday movie before, so I'm just kind of going through all the different characters I've never played. I finished a film that I'm really excited about, directed by Mark Amin, called Emperor, which is being still shot now in Savannah, so shout out to the crew out there. And then the one where I'm with John Travolta and Morgan Freeman is called The Poison Rose. Yeah. And I think that covers it.
Yeah. Back to the strong black lead.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys saw that photo recently that Netflix released of all the strong
We did a
black
video
actors.
too. Did you see the video?
Yeah, I saw the video. But that photo shoot, can you just take me through what that was like? Because I just wanted to be there.
Yeah, I'm still kind of like tripping. You know what I'm saying? Because that doesn't happen to me. You know, I've never had that kind of, I don't even want to say luck. I just like, there were so many actors sitting there, and, you know, they put me with Derek Luke, which his chocolatey goodness, you know what I'm saying? I was like, why y'all put me with Derek Luke? You know, it was very hard to concentrate, but I did it. I got through that. It was very hard. But we were all on this backlot that we shot, and, you know, Lena was there, and Alfred Woodard was there, and, you know, Ava and Spike came. It's just like, I'm kind of having this moment like, yo, if I do this right, if I do my career right, if I take the right kind of roles, and I go against what happens to a lot of us black girls, which is tokenism and marginalization. And if I take a harder route and not just go for what's gonna like pay the bills quicker or whatever, and I just say, you know what, I'm gonna go play a slave in Savannah for a little bit, and I'm gonna go do what I think I need to do for the person that's gonna come after me, then I can have an impact the way the people that were on that door stoop have done. And it inspired me to kind of keep going with integrity. You know, I think as an actor, people think like, oh, it's super glamorous, and, you know, I get to do, this is the fun, glamorous part, but this is about as glamorous as it's gonna get for me, because most of the time, you know, you're doing auditions and you have to go in and it's like, please like me. There's a lot of rejection and a lot of that, and people don't really see that, you know?
I know, like, as a consumer looking at that photo, I felt inspired about the direction of content in media and visibility and inclusion. So I can only imagine what that feels like to be working
even
in the
included.
industry.
Yeah. I mean, Netflix is my home now, and I hope that that I keep working with them, because I feel, or in any way to support them, because the stance that they've taken is such a, I've never seen a stance taken like this. They made history, and they're making history, and it's a big deal. And they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do that. They hire us enough. They didn't have to put themselves out there and say, no, this is a strong black lead. This is the new campaign. This is what we're doing. These are the actors and the creators that we're standing behind. You know, this is where we're at. So, you know, they didn't have to do that, but they did that. And
yeah, I think they have a real finger on the pulse of like where we're at. And speaking of
where we also need to be at.
Yeah, I think I have your next movie project.
Okay, come on.
Yeah. So you posted a photo on Instagram when you were wearing locks, and you
Oh, yes. I took them out for Emperor, else I'd still be wearing them.
But you look so much like Ava DuVernay.
Oh, you saw that one? That's my
And I was
biggest
like,
compliment.
In the Ava biopic, you have to play the lead.
I'm sure that there are probably people that would fight me to play her. But I'll fight you back, because you know I would play you.
Yeah.
I love me some Ava. I think that she's prolific. I love women like her, although there aren't that many. You know, there's a handful of strong black creators, and I am working hard to create my own content and my own scripts and try and push this narrative forward, because, you know, even though we're all watching these amazing movies and these shows and stuff like that, we're still dealing with a cultural crisis right now on what's happening in America. And I hope that what people are watching on TV translates to to how they move throughout the world, right? Like, I hope that if people see a Latina as a lead, that they're not going to necessarily think that every Latina is just here to clean up after you, or, you know, they see a powerful Black woman, like, you know, I'm not just an angry Black woman. I have multiple, I have dimensions. I'm 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional. I've got all these different colors and feelings and thoughts and ideas and dreams. And that's what's so important about what Netflix is doing and what so many other creators are doing, is that they're showcasing that we are all so different. So maybe it'll change the way we are being seen in the streets, the way Black men specifically are being seen in the streets, so that we don't come across like so threatening when we don't even have a gun on us, you know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping that through the art that I'm making and through the art that I'm supporting, that some of the narrative gets changed publicly. I mean, you just hope for that, right?
I hope so too, and I can feel it a little bit even in the conversations I'm starting to have with friends, you know, about the stuff that we're watching and seeing in media. So I think you can feel it, and I hope it continues to move that way.
I hope.
as well.
And then you
Yeah.
gotta take action, you know. This guy that I started following on Twitter and on Instagram, Sean King, does an amazing job of really kind of putting out what we can do and how we can get active and what's happening in America right now. So that's somebody that I got on his email list, and I'm doing what I can, and he helps direct. He's got a great team behind him, so shout him out. And my friend Shaka does a lot of work in Africa. Princess Modupe, working with her for Empower 54. She does a lot of work in Africa. So, you know, you still have to be active. Like, I can't just be acting my way out of a culture war. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, you got to get active.
Yeah, Sean King's Twitter is fearless. If you don't follow him on Twitter.
No, you want to be unapologetic.
It's so good.
You got to be unapologetic,
Yeah.
because, you know, it's beautiful to be in New York. You know, I live in Georgia, right? So I'm seeing Confederate flags. We were just talking about this, you know, and things that I'm living around. And, you know, I just want to promote diversity in the media, but also we have to take action. We have to get our hands dirty.
Yeah, and we see you doing that even in the animation world, because in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you're voicing April, and this is the first time we're going to see April as a Black woman.
Yeah, it's
so
a trip.
what does it mean for you to be a part of that project?
Well, for me, I thought that if I was a little girl and I had seen more African-American characters in whether like comic books or cartoons and stuff like that, then maybe I wouldn't have felt I would have more awareness over myself and over my position in society, right? So I was like, well, I wanted to start out, how young can I get? Like, what is the youngest audience I could reach? Because I already feel like the young adults and the teenagers, like they mess with me, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Vampire Diaries.
I got that,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
you're
Like,
good.
I got y'all. Y'all are good. Y'all are ride or die. You figured it out. Like, you're with me. Cool. And I have an older audience from some of the new stuff that I'm doing, but I wanted to do something for the kids, like the real kids, like the little me. And I was like, I want to play something. I can do this, like, and I can promote it, and I could let me do this. And they gave me this opportunity, and I didn't quite understand the depths of it because I guess, and it had been brought to my attention, the original April O'Neil was Black. And they actually changed it. Now they're changing it back. So it's deep, you know, because you want to get into the subconscious of the child and show that, you know, you are worthy. You are the strong Black lead. You can do this. You can fight evil, and you can conquer the world, and regardless of what you're watching on in the news, and even though it seems like it's just a cartoon, like I want my girls to feel inspired.
Isn't it crazy that they would have talking turtles, but they wouldn't have a Black April?
No.
I mean,
This is America. What do you mean?
That's a shame. That's a shame.
I mean, it's a bummer, but you know what? We're getting there, right?
But in doing April, tell me what that process is like, getting in the booth and developing her voice, and how fun was that to kind of play with?
I've looked at people like some of my favorite Black voices, some of the most iconic Black voices are people like Chris Rock. like Wanda, you know, even Whoopi. Like I just looked at the most iconic voices, right? People that have the voices that have had a place in history, and the sass and the comedy and the funniness and the intellect and all that comes with being like a successful Black voice, right? Like there's these iconic voices, even just like Maya Angelou's voice. Like I studied all of them and I was like, what can I bring that is fun and serious at the same time and believable for this like young Black girl who's supposed to be in New York City, right? And I'm from LA. Like I sound like I'm from LA. I couldn't sound like any more like I'm from California. So I had to kind of change it up a bit. So I definitely studied some of my favorite voices for sure.
And you're obviously a singer as well. So how much does that play into how you can control
It helps.
your voice?
It really helps because in voiceover stuff, you're literally just in the booth. You know, and I've spent so much time just in the booth, in the recording studio. Most of my time as a music artist has been recording engineering and doing beats. Like I only started singing when I was like 17, 18, but most of that time I was at Musicians Institute making beats for rappers for their mixtapes. Like I was totally happy engineering and making beats and maybe rapping a bit, you know, but most of my life had been kind of behind it. So, but I'd spent a lot of time, so I kind of know what the engineer, I'm a very bossy engineer, like I'm the backseat engineer. I'm like, I need more pre-roll, I need you to lower that. Like I'm like, so they do put up with me, but it is just like very similar to being in the booth.
You went to school for audio engineering.
I have a degree in it.
I thought that was really dope when I read that.
Well, I didn't want to necessarily like engineer. I just couldn't. It was like around the time that like Napster happened and like a lot of producers that I was excited to work with were like holding on to their music and not giving me anything or helping me with my demos or anything because the industry was completely changing. Everything was going to streaming. There was a lot of music being stolen and people were losing money left and right. So the last thing they were gonna do is like give me their hit song. I didn't even have a label, right? So I was just like, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna do it myself. And I just started doing my own beats in my little like 1 bedroom in Hollywood with my mom. And I winded up meeting will.i.am and sending him a few of my beats and driving him crazy and blowing up his phone. And he was like, fine, come over. And we did. I got it from my mama and the Donkey Song. And then we went on a world tour. And after that, I did like a little bit of guest star stuff. And then I winded up booking Vampire Diaries. And I just kept doing music through that. But it was hard because I couldn't tour. I couldn't do what I had time to do before. But that's, I guess, how it works.
That album was songs about girls, right?
Songs about girls. I was just listening to it the other
day.
And I'm excited. I think I want to do something with will.i.am again. He's such a brilliant mind. And he's got so many great ideas. He's always had so many great ideas. So next year, I think I'm going to start going back to the people that I really initially kind of were inspired by. Like I've been inspired by Pharrell forever. I've danced for him. I've interviewed him when I did something with American Express at the Apollo. And I want to kind of go back to the music artists that really inspired me and like find a way to do something with them again because there's something there,
Which perfectly transitions us to my next question. Music. You've been acting your ass off, and I can see that that's where you're putting all of your efforts right now is just like really, developing yourself in that capacity. But are you working on some new music? Are we going to see
I finished a new album. It's totally different than anything I've ever done, and I'm going to announce it in August. The process of music has been interesting because when I did this song Graffiti, I was on Interscope, and I had this label support, and then A&M, which was the kind of label that I was signed to through Interscope, folded, right? The label I got a phone call saying you don't have a label anymore, so Interscope is gonna pick you up. I said, okay, great. That's okay. I can work with that. And then I wasn't happy with the direction. I was like, well, this ain't me. I just went through this. Like, this ain't me. So I left and I winded up going to, I just did it independently. I said, I'm a 90s girl. I dress like the 90s. I live in the 90s. I love all the stuff. My favorite artists from that era, like Babyface and TLC, and I'm like, let me just do what my heart wants to do. So I was like, let me just make these beats. I work with my producing partner, Jeeve, who's incredible, and we put together this Roxbury Drive album, which was the music I listened to when I was living in my grandma's house on Roxbury Drive. And then while I was literally making the record and in rehearsals, I winded up meeting Babyface at the Grammys, and I invited him to a rehearsal. And I basically became his artist at that point, and he became my mentor. And then while I was finishing up that record, I got a phone call from Prince saying he wanted to work with me. And I was like, oh, look at that. Look at God, right? And I was like, all from just following my own heart and my own dreams and just saying, you know what? I get that y'all want me to be this person, but I really kind of got to believe in myself, even if I'm broke. And I was like, you know, I put all my money in my music. I wasn't making any money from making music. I got nothing out of it. So I winded up releasing that record. Prince wanted me to do some funk records, and I was like, no, I want to do this 90s record stuff. I need to do my R&B stuff. I'll get to it. We did a little bit. We did like 2-3 songs, funk. But I released the Roxbury Drive album with Babyface, and then we got about 2 songs in, and I had agreed in March of 2016 that we were going to do the funk record over at Paisley. And then what happened. So I finished the record. And I like to say I finished it with Prince because I definitely felt guided by him and did the kind of records that he wanted me to do, and released that really for him, for us, to see, okay, I did it, you were right. And now I wanted to do something completely different. So the new sound is something that explores what I feel like I've explored in my acting, right? I think people have gravitated towards these characters I've played because they see kind of the heartbreak. And I put all my heartbreak, like I put everything awful that's happened to me. Like you can know what's happened in my life just by watching everything I've done. Like you're like, oh, she went through it. Or like, you know, I've had like loss of love, death, all of that stuff. And I just put it in there. But I've never actually done that with my music. That's something I'm kind of like, well, music was always something that, you know, I just got to have fun with. Was a backup dancer forever, so I just wanted to just dance and have a good time. But I'm actually starting to explore that other side as an artist, and it's interesting and actually kind of terrifying in the same way that acting has been a bit terrifying. So I'm kind of in that space now.
If that is where you're at, then I am so excited to hear this new music.
Thanks.
Because from what I hear, at least from musicians, is that is really where you find your sound, is when you're so honest in what you're
Yeah,
so
and I'm learning about
I'm excited.
the honesty and why it's so important and what I'm actually here to do. Because I've had opportunities to kind of go to labels, and I've been offered things to kind of do a certain kind of music, and I can't do it. Like, I just can't do it. And maybe I would have sold way more records, or maybe I would have been on tour in stadiums. I don't know, but I don't want to ever. And then actually, like, it had a bit more weight, everything that Prince had told me about owning your masters and having creative control, that at this point, like, I owe it to him to kind of follow through on what my heart is saying, what I'm supposed to do musically. So we'll see what happens.
I think everything happens at the right time and when it's supposed to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we're all looking forward to that.
Awesome, appreciate it.
Yeah, so I think now's a good time to go to the audience for a couple questions. We have one right here.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Olivia. Nice
Hey,
to meet you.
Olivia. Nice to meet you.
So, out of all of the actors in this movie, who do you think would last the longest, if ever, in this situation?
Oh, you mean for how it ends?
Yeah.
Oh, Forrest. I love you, Theo. You know I love you. You know I love you, bro. But no, like Forrest is king. He just knows what he's doing. He's also done so many amazing films where he's actually had to do real training, where like I only like fired a gun for the first time for a role like last week. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm really not ready. I'm not prepared. But Forrest has been like dropped into the jungle and like done crazy, crazy stuff. So he's definitely the one to survive.
All right, thank you.
Forrest has been in Wakanda, okay?
You know what I'm saying?
Like he's gonna be okay.
Forrest is the one.
Yeah,
Like
sure.
we should all find Forrest and just stick with him.
Next question.
Hi, we're going to take an online question from Holly. Holly says, Kat, you seem like such a creative soul. How do you know which creative projects to put your energy in?
I guess it's like when you woke up this morning, right? And you were like, this is the outfit I want to wear. Like I literally like move through things that way. And I think people are like, well, why didn't you like acting or dancing? And what do you like better? And I'm like, I don't even like give myself that much, I don't even take myself that seriously enough to say, this is who I am, this is what I do, and that's it. Like, I'm just like, oh, I want to wake up and I want to do like a funk album, or like I wake up and I just want to dance. I just want to do a bunch of dance videos today, or like I want to write a script and I want to play this character. Like I just kind of go with where I feel like I'm going, and I don't put any weight on how much money is there, you know, which probably isn't hadn't been the smartest thing, but I know that it'll be worth it. If I do it right and I give it my all, I know it'll be worth it. So I guess it's just how I wake up that day.
I like how I can't choose anything when I wake up in a day. It's like coffee, I don't know. And you're like, I'm gonna make an album. That's fantastic. One last question.
Hi.
Hey.
So I'm a very big fan of Vampire Diaries. So
Thank
my
you.
question is for today, who's the prankster out of Vampire Diaries?
Nina. Hi, Nina. I miss you. She was such a prankster. She would drag me into pranks a few times, but most of the time she kind of went off her own accord, and she is the best prankster. She puts a lot of thought into it. I remember it was like the last day or something, and she had painted Matt Davis's room pink. He walked in and his room was pink. Like, I can't even, what? So she's definitely super fun and the biggest prankster, for sure. I can't even compete with that.
That's amazing.
That's
a
commitment.
trip.
She's a trip.
Yeah.
She gets very into it.
Well, Kat, it's been so much fun chatting with you today. Please promise you'll come back.
I would love to come back. Well, I was here for the lunch.
I
So if y'all ever
know.
close, I got to close y'all out, but I don't think you'll ever close.
You're build family at this point.
I feel like that.
Yes, we love having you
I feel
here.
like that.
Every
Please
day's like
invite me
Christmas.
back.
Yes. So if you guys want to see more of Kat, make sure you check out How It Ends. It debuts today on Netflix, Friday the 13th. Give it up for Kat Graham.
Thank you guys for being here.